unwavering, always present, and always willing to help those in need. Despite her illness, she maintains a clear and compassionate vision of the world. Listening to Kathleen, one cannot help but think of the song, What the World Needs Now. Tonight's story, Despite It All, She Chooses to Serve, told by Kathy Krutz. Hello there. How are you doing today, Kathleen Krutz?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm simply fantastic, and thank you for asking. We thank you for coming today. We want to hear your story, and we want to know a little bit about you. So can you kind of start us off from, let's say, the beginning and what your background is?
Sure, I'm the youngest of 10 kids.
Wow.
We were born on the south side of Chicago. My dad was a devout Catholic. He felt that by having a lot of children, he would find his way to heaven. And I asked him one day why he thought that way, and he said that is what a priest told him. So we lived on the south side of Chicago. We lived in homes until they were literally falling down. We all had our chores to do, even at 5 years old. My sister and I were washing and drying dishes, painting, taking out the garbage. Everybody had to do chores. There was very limited space, so my sisters and I were in one bedroom. My other brothers were in another bedroom. Then my dad and mom each had a bedroom of their own. My dad worked 3 jobs at once. He traveled a lot. So there was much responsibility on my mom and then my older siblings. Because my dad was such a devout Catholic, there were even times where we had Mass said in our home. It was a struggle for all of us. I often wondered, even as an adult, why my dad had so many kids, because it was difficult. But he did give us examples of how we should act and how we should treat others.
Well, I just wanted to ask a question. Did I hear this right? 10 kids,
Yes.
3 bedrooms, 4?
I believe there was 3.
3. That's what it sounded like you said, 3 bedrooms. Okay, and when he has a bunch of kids, he gonna go to heaven.
That's what the priest told him. He said, "How do I get to heaven? To die with God." And the priest told him, have as many kids as you can. That's your way of giving back to God by doing that. As an adult, I just felt that my parents had set us with some great examples. My mom and dad always said, leave the last piece of cake for the next person, the largest piece of meat for the next person, treat everyone as you would want to be treated. I followed the Catholic Church for many years, even until I was married, but I've since fallen away from the church because of so much going on in the Catholic faith. Well, I was just going to mention throughout my childhood, I did have some health issues. And unfortunately, I'm sure we didn't get the type of care that you would nowadays. Some are those that are genetic. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of health issues throughout my adult life, but I just feel that Jesus suffered on the cross for us. And I think I can suffer on earth a little bit for him.
These health issues, were they just you? Were they the other siblings?
We really didn't know about health issues until my oldest sister was 35. She had 6 kids under the age of 14, and she got breast cancer. She eventually passed from breast cancer. And then my next sister, who had hydrocephalus, which is water on her brain, she also had breast cancer. And then my sister after her also had breast cancer. So they have all passed. And then in the last 3 years, my brother was the one who was killed in a car accident.
I'm sorry to hear that. So is that 3 sisters?
It is actually 3 sisters and 1 brother.
And 1 brother.
Right. And then my oldest sister's daughter is now fighting breast cancer and brain cancer. And she's only been given a limited amount of time to live. So we've been going to Tennessee to see her and to see what we can do to help her to get ready for her transition.
Those are a lot of heavy things to be on an individual. And these are family members. These aren't like friends. This is your family. And you were speaking of your health issues. Do you mind touching on some of those?
No, I have something called interstitial cystitis where I don't have a lining of the bladder. So that causes constant pain and pressure. I also have endometriosis, which is another problem that is usually affects women. I also have the fibromyalgia, so I have constant joint pain, and there are other issues also. But I just try to pray a lot throughout the day, and I try to do a lot of deep breathing exercises. I mean, I pray when I get up, I pray on the way to work, I pray in the shower, constantly praying, not so much for myself, but just for everybody in the world.
Amen, Kathleen. That is really remarkable. That's going to take a lot of praying. It seems like some of those illnesses that you mentioned, that's living in pain.
It is living with pain, but it's best to keep busy because then you don't dwell on it. And then recently, in the last few years, I was told that I have the BRCA1 gene
Oh
and
my
that
God.
It's called a Lynch syndrome gene. And those are just genes that make my chances more prevalent to get cancer.
Well, tell me this. Out of having three sisters that went through that, what are you doing for this? What is it, BRCA1 gene?
You know, I was for a long time going to specialists. They want you to go to specialists and have constant testing done. And I felt it was interrupting my life, it was interrupting my schedule. And I just feel that God has a plan for me. And when I'm going to
Amen.
pass, I will just deal with it at that time.
Wow. You
But I did want to mention someone else in my life who's remarkable, and that is my brother, who is 2 years older than myself. His name is Larry, and he's remarkable because he was walking at 10 months, and then my mom took him for a polio shot, and he got polio. So he's had polio since he's 10 months old, and we have a wonderful friendship, a wonderful connection. But as kids, we were all responsible to help with Larry. And I even recall one time when we went to a clinic, there were never really doctors per se, they were always clinics where there were people teaching and learning. And we went to a clinic and we were there for 8 hours in Chicago. I believe it was at Reese Hospital. We went to many, many appointments there, and there was also a time where we were there for 8 hours. And we were waiting because my brother needed a brace. And it was a remarkable, even as an adult, my thinking about it now, that he was so young. And then, of course, my other sisters and I were there for 8 hours just waiting patiently for this doctor appointment. Nowadays, I'm not sure if people could endure that. But I think years ago, you had to keep yourself busy. And of course, my mom always brought snacks for us to eat. And you just had to be patient and sit.
Well, I wanted to know a little bit more about you. What does your day consist of pretty much? How's your living? Who's around you? Do you have children? Are you married? Things of that.
I have two sons. My one son was a alcoholic and a heroin addict. He used to smoke. He had been arrested many times. He's been in many, many rehab facilities, halfway houses. He's detoxed many times. He lives with me, and right now he has given up smoking. He hasn't had alcohol for over a year, and
Amen.
he's trying to kick the heroin habit. Every day we go and he gets methadone. He does have a job. I have a job. We share a car. And once I've picked him up, I then usually volunteer at the food bank, or I volunteer to those people that I have committed myself to helping.
You know, That's what brings us to the topic. That is very remarkable that you would still be in people's lives after all what you're going through. I see you don't give up on anything, and
Oh, no.
no, you don't give up. I would like to talk about the commitments and things and the people that you go out and help. I mean, all the time. That's why you were referred. It's not only because of the deaths that were in your family, they told about that. Not only about the hysterectomies, the BRCA1 gene. I didn't even know about the other parts of things. But now to hear about what you had to endure and deal with in your home with your son, and I'm glad that he's pulling himself up. He is not alone. Addiction in this country is overwhelming. So he's not alone. And we need that support system around us when we go through these things. So that's just remarkable. And you continue to help other people. You continue to volunteer your time. Can you tell us again, where do you do this at? Like food banks, whoever needs you?
Sure. I volunteer at a food bank, and that entails checking people in, putting food away, accepting food from people, making phone calls. And this is all on a volunteer basis. I also have a friend who has Parkinson's,
Oh,
so I will drive over, and she's about 40 minutes away, drive over and take her shopping. Um, I also have the church, which I will volunteer bingo or whatever else services they might need. Mostly, to tell you the truth, I try to be supportive of my family because some are out of state, they're getting older, and because I'm the youngest, I try to follow up on phone calls to people who just need to hear from someone.
do you really take time for yourself, Kathleen?
No, usually about 11 o'clock at night, I'm pretty much finished for the day. And I will sit down usually until about 1. I might read or I might watch TV or just get caught up with things. I feel that's my time.
You spend mostly all day taking care, sharing the car, helping people, volunteering. What's the reward for you?
The reward for me is that I feel Jesus with me always. I have friends that are what they claim to be prophetic because they feel that Jesus has spoken to them, actually spoken to them. I've never experienced that, but I just pray that God guides me to be a tool for Him to help others. I think just because this is how we were always taught to put others first. And really, I don't find myself remarkable. I find other people remarkable in what they are able to get through with their adversities, such as my brother Larry. He has polio in a wheelchair also. She broke her back.
Oh my
So he
God.
also, I'm not going to mention it, but yes, he also cares for her, works a full-time job, takes care of the house, takes care of the clothes, always worked. He works right now downtown, and he works to make parks accessible to people who are disabled. And he is remarkable. And I think one day in Chicago, I think his name will be well known because he is always trying to help people. And I had mentioned him sometimes. We've gone to games where there are wheelchair games or maybe basketball or softball. I've asked him and said, I wonder if that's something I could eventually do. My dream is to have an open area for homeless and helpless and veterans and animals because I think the people off the street, if they could just come to an open area with doctors and food and water and a place to sleep, I think if they were really taken care of and possibly properly analyzed, they could get the help they need. Because when I'm in Chicago and I see all these homeless people and helpless people, those who are sick, those who are mentally ill, that's really what my dream is to one day help these people, especially help the veterans who I think have suffered most.
I thought that this interview was going to be more about your ailments. What you're going through is not your that's not what's in your vision. And what's in your vision is helping the others and appreciating that you're not where they're at and thanking God for where He brought you. And I just want all the viewers and anyone that's listening, when you say a prayer, think of Kathleen. Think of her because she's servicing. And her vision isn't to be rich or isn't to be famous or anything like that. Kathleen wants to help better the world. We all should take a little pause and give her a round of applause.
You're very kind. Thank you. Actually, I feel embarrassed when people pray for me because I feel that there are so many more people who need help. But I wouldn't mind if people do say a prayer just for my strength to continue and for me to continue with what I'd like to accomplish.
Well, we're going to do that. You can believe that.
I was just going to say, a dear friend of mine had sent me a picture of a farm. It was 83 acres. And I commented, oh, how I wish we could open this farm up to homeless and helpless and veterans and, maybe animals and have doctors and nurses and food and water. And right away, her demeanor changed and she said, don't you know we need food? And I understand about the farm. Well, here we grow wheat, we grow soybeans, we grow corn. I understand that aspect. I just didn't think that they needed an entire 83 acres. So I'm always looking into the possibility that maybe I wouldn't be able to financially afford something, but maybe I could join someone who is doing this for the vets, for the homeless, the helpless. I see so many people who are just, you can see, mentally ill. I'm very saddened by people in jail who just go to jail for, especially as my son's gone many times. I'm in the drug addicts. I'm not certain how it is in other states, but here in Illinois, we get very little help.
Well,
and I've offered to take him to another state to get clean again, to get the help he needs, to start a new adventure. And he's refused. He said no, that he's got to do this on his own.
Really, he's correct.
So that's where we're at.
Really, he's correct. You can, what's that? Something you could take him wherever. But if and I like the way he put it, I have to do this.
Yes.
And that's taking ownership right there. And I really like that. Kathleen, so you want to have a place where the homeless, the stray animals, the drug addicts, that's going to be a big place.
I think the animals could help the addicts, and I think the animals could help the homeless and the helpless. I've seen animals help people in jail, give them a new purpose in life. And maybe they could even train the animals to be guide animals or whatever might help people with their being mentally ill with their illness.
Everything I've heard about you, number one, the first thing they said is be prepared. She's not going to really talk about her too much. She's going to talk about everyone else. She's always helping everyone. This is what your community thinks about you. I'm in Denver. Okay, and this vibe that you give out, this spirit of yours, this nurturing, caring spirit, has reached all the way to Colorado in our culture. So whatever you're doing, Kathleen, you keep doing it, and we're going to be praying for your strength. How's that?
I really appreciate that. If I can just continue with the pain I have and just move ahead, and honestly, I pray for everyone all over the world. When I was a kid and it was my birthday, as silly as it sounds, even at that time, I remember being 6 years old and everybody said, here's your birthday wish. What did you wish for? And I said, I wished for peace. And I wished every year until I was about 21. And then I started wishing for people who are homeless and helpless and sick. I have everything I need. I don't need anything. I'm okay.
You are one special, remarkable lady. And it was refreshing talking with you. But you did exactly what they said. You turn all the attention on other people that need help. And we appreciate your services. We appreciate your time. We thank you for coming in and sharing your story with us. And for your son, we'll be sending out prayers for him and his strength in his battle. Seems like he's really on the right track. Seems like he's taking ownership. And I know it's because he has this remarkable mother.
I'm so proud of him. I'm
Amen.
so proud of him.
Hi, Kathy. I just wanted to take a moment to pop in on your interview and let everyone know that you did a great job and that I had a feeling that it would be difficult for you to talk about yourself. But I know that you have a great story to share, and as a personal friend of yours, I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows everything that you're going through and dealing with. I know that you are in pain every single day, and most people would never even know that because you don't complain about it, and you are always upbeat and positive. You are an inspiration to me as I've gotten to know you better over the years, and I am grateful that you are a part of my life. You not only deal with the pain on a constant basis, but you put that aside and continue to help and serve so many other people. I've been the lucky recipient of so much of your generosity when I've had tough times. You never fail to put a card in the mail for good or bad things. You are a bright light in this world.
Well, another episode of Where Were You? And we would like to thank our guests for this evening. Also want to thank New Me. New Me helps sponsor Where Were You? So go on and check it out. New Me /Arkway. Also, go on and hit that like. Go on and hit subscribe. Go on and hit that share. Go on and leave a comment. And if you find anyone that has a story, let me know. And hey, you bless someone today.